right, we're making a painting of 3 cute little cardinals in the snow, and we're going to start out with a little bit of drawing. So of course we want to put our name on the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to draw a branch going across, just a line. So you don't want it through the middle. So if I went about halfway up my paper, I would want it to be lower than that. So maybe just like 2 or 3 fingers space up from the bottom of your light blue paper. And you're just going to make a line going across. Okay, and then you might have a tracer for your birds. I'm going to draw them on my branch. So I want to make an oval shape, like a stretched out circle, and then a circle head. So I want to do that 3 times. Another way to make an oval is to make a U. And then just curve off the top. And a circle head. And then I'm going to make one more. So you would do this in pencil. I'm doing it in Sharpie so that it shows up better on the video. Okay, so your pencil lines would not show up as much as obviously this Sharpie is going to. And I'm going to paint with Temper Cake paints, and I'll move this up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get brown first for my branch. So I've got this small paintbrush. It's not very long. And I got it wet. And then I'm just going to go around my brown quite a few times. And then I'm just going to paint along my branch. Now if I start to see that my paint is getting too light or it's looking kind of dried out, then that means I need to get more water. So I just get a little more water on my brush. Okay, I don't need to tap my paintbrush. Remember, I always say no tapping your paintbrush. If you have too much water, you can always go along the side of your cup to get the extra water off. But actually, I don't think for this project and for such a small paintbrush we need to worry about getting the water off. Okay, so I'm getting some more brown. And you can see how much darker that brown is now that I got a little bit more water and paint on my brush. I'm going to try getting just the paint this time. And it is looking a little dried out on the end there, but I think I probably have enough to get across. Okay, and we don't have to worry about this line, this branch being straight or even, because it's a branch. It's not going to be straight. It's not going to be even. Okay, then I'm going to clean up my brush well. Okay, this time maybe I do want to move it along the side of the cup just to see that it's clean. And then I'm going to get red for my birds, my red cardinals. Okay, I can tell my brush is getting a little dry, so I'm going to get a little more water, more paint. Okay, you can see that it looks lighter there, so that means I need to add some more paint. Okay, I'm going to get more water and more paint. Okay. So I kind of trace around the outside of my pencil line, or in my case, my Sharpie line, and then fill it in with the paint. So again, I want to get more water, more paint, fill that in. Okay, sometimes it's easier if you hold your brush like a pencil. Down low here at the golden part of the paintbrush is called the ferrule. Some paintbrushes it looks more silver. This one looks more gold. Okay, so I'm seeing that it's too dry, adding some more paint, and if needed, a little more water. Okay, then I want to add a little tail on the end of each one. So I'm going to get some more red. And then I'm just going to paint some lines just going at a diagonal off the side of the bird, kind of like maybe like a capital letter Q with a little tail on the end. Okay, I'm going to clean out my brush really well. And then I'm going to switch to green. And again, I'm going to do diagonal lines. In between my birds. Wherever I have space. I might have space down here, I might not. It doesn't matter. Probably 2 branches is plenty. 2 or 3, maybe even 4. Okay, so we've got those diagonal lines again. They're going in the same angle as the Q, and then some little pine needles or leaves, however you want to think of it. Okay, this is probably as much as I would do for day 1. We want to let this dry. And they will dry pretty quickly though, because this is the tempera cake paints instead of just regular tempera. But I wanted to switch it out with this one that I know is very dry. And actually it's rolled up a little bit because sometimes that happens when paper's drying if it's not on something flat or have something flat on top of it. Okay, so I'm going to add details now with the art sticks. So these are like the inside of a colored pencil, and there is a brand by Crayola, and they call them color sticks. So all color, no wood. So it's like the inside of a colored pencil. Oh, and you can see that they actually come pretty large. So I usually break them in half when I use them, and so I'm going to just do some little lines for the feet. 1, 2, 3. So that looks like the bird is perched on the branch with, and then some orange for the beak. So that's kind of like a letter V. Maybe then fill it in a little bit so it's more like a triangle. V. And then fill it in. And then a V on this last one. And fill that in. Okay, and then I use some white for the eyes. Just some little circles. And then a little bit of black again for the inside part of the eye. All right, so cute. And then lastly, I added some white paint. And this is regular tempera cake paint. Or sorry, tempera paint, not the cakes. Liquid tempera. And I usually just come around and dab a little bit onto the end of the branch. And then you'll take your paintbrush. It probably won't even be very wet. It'll probably be just sprayed a little bit with a little bit of water because we're not switching colors anymore. And then you're just going to take from your dot of paint and just dab some sweet little snowflakes all around your paper. So I don't usually let any go on my birds. I like them to be around my birds. But I don't mind if they dot on top of my branches at all. I wouldn't want them like the snow to like rest on the birds because it really, the bird's probably not going to stay that still to let the snow just fall on it. Okay, and then whatever extra I have here, I'm going to just spread out along my branch to make it look like the snow's resting on the branch. And I can even do a little bit on my pine needles too. Another option is to use a white oil pastel to draw the snow, and that turns out really nice too if you don't have time to get out paint. All right, so good luck with yours. I hope it turns out just fabulous for you.